guys are wondering how come I've had the same dress on in several of my videos, it's because I'm a person who will wear something several times before it goes in the laundry. Especially, and this is how I justify or whatever you want to call it in my head. I used to wear this dress to work when I had a job, and I would wear it for a whole entire day, okay? So we're talking 8 hours at least, longer probably, because I didn't take it off the second I got home, or if I had to go to the store after work or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? So when I'm in the car doing stuff, we're talking 2 hours max usually, you know, somewhere around there. So as far as I'm concerned, I get 4 to 6 wearing this dress out of it before it needs to go in the laundry. So, you know, if I wore it for an entire day at work, that wouldn't be the only day I would wear it before I put it in, unless I get, okay, there's a couple of things that would keep me from wearing something twice before it goes in the laundry. If I get sweaty, definitely going in the laundry. If I spill anything at all on it, going in the laundry. Otherwise, for me, I can wear something twice. You know, if I don't get it stinky and I don't get it dirty, it doesn't need to go in the laundry. You know, it just wears your clothes out. And I'm not rolling in dough. I don't have a bunch of money to drop $40 or $60 on a stupid dress because I washed it 800 times, you know. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's the rationality in my head for how often things get washed. And once I start wearing something because of my living situation, I just keep wearing it the number of times until it needs to get washed. I don't have the option of, you know, going through my closet, and I've got a rack that I have clothes on, and it's crammed full because it's not that big, and it's all my hanging clothes, you know. So, and I don't have a ton of clothes. You would not believe the amount of stuff I threw out when I moved or donated, you know. I mean, just insane amounts of clothing. You know, I got rid of a lot of stuff, and I'm not one for the shoes either. I have like 3 or 4 pairs of shoes that I routinely wear. That's just kind of how I am, you know. I've never had like 20 pairs of shoes. I've never been that girl. I might have had 6 or 8 when I was going out, and I, you know, different shoes for going out dancing and stuff, but I just have never been that girl. So anyway, I'm going to stop this for a minute, and then I will come back on and talk about the apartment situation. No, I haven't gotten one yet. Okay, I want to leave my music on, but I don't want to get a copyright thing, so I'll shut it off. Anyway, okay, so as far as the apartment thing goes, I get people asking if I have thought about getting a roommate. And while that sounds great, you know, get a roommate, I could potentially end up in a situation that's worse than where I am now. When you get a roommate, you're pulling someone out of thin air who is very likely also in a situation like I am. And depending on what their income source is, they may or may not pay their rent. You know, I have a steady income source, my Social Security. It's not a lot because I took it early, but it's still reliable to a degree, you know. I can make some extra money with eBay, and I could push and do more if I need to, you know. So I have to be careful, though. This is where it gets sticky. You know, again, as far as the roommate situation goes, you don't know who you're going to end up with. I could end up with someone that's worse than where I am now. That's the first thing. Second thing is, will they be reliable? Will they always pay their bills when they're supposed to? I don't know that, you know. And the third thing is, with the amount of income that I have, if I am not in a subsidized apartment, it would have to be a 50-50 split. Nobody's going to want to pay more rent than I'm paying. So I would have to find an apartment at the max that's $800 a month. There might be something out there. It would very likely be a studio. Where are two people going to sleep and live in a studio? And leases around here are a minimum of 6 months. So and then I have to pay to move there. So let's say I move to a studio with a roommate. I'm a planner, and I think ahead about things, and I mentally prepare for things. So I don't just do things most of the time, you know. That's not how I operate. And so I think about all of the things that come into play with moving. And let's say I sign a 6-month lease somewhere. I manage to find a place that's only $800 a month for a studio. I find a roommate that's, you know, reliable. Who knows how that would go. And we live on top of each other for 6 months. I have spent all of my money now on moving because it's a minimum of $600 to move. And now I am barely getting by because I am paying more rent than I would if I was living in subsidized housing. Then I get an email or a phone call from one of the complexes that has sliding scale housing, and I can't afford to move because I have no money. I have no extra money at all. You know, so that's one of my other concerns about moving into a studio with a roommate, you know. And that's even if I could find a place where it would be $800 a month. Most of them that I have found that are even available, because that's the other issue, even just regular market apartments, not subsidized, not, you know, nothing special about them. Studios are going for close to $1,000 a month or more just for a studio. Phoenix is insane. And yes, again, I've looked at other places, but I have to pay to move somewhere. You know, it's not as easy as people think it is. And even when I had a good job and I was making really decent money, it's expensive to move. And that's just across town, you know. Forget moving out of state. Holy crap. That we're talking thousands, you know, at least a couple $1,000 just to move one state away. So, you know, it sounds easier than it's gonna be. And even moving to a subsidized apartment, when one comes available, is going to cost me a lot of money, you know. And I'm trying to put some money away. I have to be careful, you know, how much I make because of Social Security and because I took it early. I can't remember what the dollar amount is. It starts to affect the Social Security if I earn too much. Now, once I hit 65, so I've got a year and a half to go, a little less than a year and a half, I can earn as much as I want to. And then believe me, eBay will be kicked into high gear if I'm still around. You know, I am going to be 64 in June, so we don't live forever, you know. And with all the stress that I've had over the past 3 years, who knows what it's done to my body, you know. Anyway, that's the thing about getting a roommate. I'm trying to figure out, somebody needs tomatoes for the chickens, so I'm going to stop and see if they have those at 99 cents, because I got them there last time and they were good tomatoes. So yes, I stopped again, but I've decided I'm going to start getting a smaller one. I'm getting a grande when I go from now on instead of a venti. It only saves me like $1, but still, and it will add up over a period of a month or a month and a half. That's another drink, you know what I mean? So back to the whole apartment thing. I have to get into a place that's government subsidized, or that is a sliding scale. And some of them it's different than Section 8. And I'm not quite sure how to describe or explain. Section 8 is the federal government, and I have not been able to get on Section 8 because the waiting list has been, or the list has been closed, like for applying. Now, they did recently, it's like a pre-application list that you can get on. So I got myself on that list, but then once you're on that list, you still have to wait to get on the actual list. So, you know, so that's out there. That could be 10 years, and I'm guessing it probably will be. The other situation is usually they're run by a church or a religious organization or a charity of some sort, and they get some of their funding from the government. What they do is it's also sliding scale, so it's based on your income. Their funding comes from the charity and the government. So the government gives them some of the money based on how many residents they have that are low income, that kind of thing. So they will have regular people there renting, and then they will also have low income, like a certain number of apartments in the facility will be low income, you know. So that's how those work. They don't make it easy. And if you happen to move or change your phone number or something like that, you have to contact every single one of these places, because each complex, and that's the other thing about these places that I've applied to, none of them are connected to each other. Each property has their own application process. None of the applications are similar, and they're similar to a degree, but they're not the same application. So it's not like you could just reuse your application, you know. And it's worse than applying for a job. I don't know. There's a lot involved, and I've done it. You know, I've applied to all these places, but if I happen to move, you know, like if I was to get a roommate and rent a studio somewhere, I would have to contact every single one of these places that I have applied at, and with some of them you have to completely redo the paperwork. And with others, you just have to let them know and hope that they actually go into your file and change your information, because then when it comes time to contact you, when they get an opening, they have to have your contact. They have to have your address and or your phone number so they can get a hold of you, you know, to let you know that they have something. So it's not as easy as it sounds. And there's a lot more that goes into it than I think people realize. You know, you can't just go get an apartment. And here in Phoenix right now, especially, there's really not a lot out there. All right, I have to go into 99 cent and look at tomatoes. I'll see if they have the tomatoes. If they do, I'll grab them for her. I'll drop them off at the house, and then I'll take off again, because I just don't feel like being home right now. It's too nice out. So I'm gonna go shop, maybe. All right, they had the tomatoes I was looking for. I'm always on a quest for something weird. Anyway, I grabbed some other stuff that I wanted while I was there, and then I had to stop by the house to put everything in the fridge because I got stuff that needs to be refrigerated. So now I am headed to Walmart. I'm trying to think if there was something I was going to talk to you guys about with the reselling, but I can't remember for the life of me what it was. I don't know. Anyway, I may not upload any of this. Maybe just the first parts where I was talking about the apartment stuff and the roommate stuff and, you know, possible solutions to my dilemma. I'm gonna stop and see if I can find a thrift store somewhere that I can go poke around and see if I can find anything interesting. And I will not be able to record if I do, because I did not bring my little baby camera. I know it's not what it's called. I don't care. That's what I call it. It's my baby camera. This is my phone camera. All right. I will chime back in if I have anything to share with you guys. If not, this will be the end of this, and I will see you guys next time. Hi, just wanted to jump in here and ask you guys if you wouldn't mind, if you're in a shopping mood, fellow reseller, Paige, One Foot Flipper, you may have seen some of his videos, is in the process of buying a new prosthetic leg, and his portion of the expense is going to be $8,000. So he is running a 20% off sale in his store. He has got everything in his store, from role-playing game items to books to record albums to some kids stuff. It's all over the place. He's got a lot of stuff in the store. So maybe you can find something for a gift you need for someone, or maybe something that you've been looking for. Anyway, if you could take a look and see if you can find something, that would be great. Maybe help a guy out. And I guess that's it. You guys probably saw some Ride With Me footage right before this. I'm in my jammies, so I want to get out of here. I just wanted to jump in and let you guys know about the sale and see if you could give Paige a hand. Thanks, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.